Alright, this is pt02 again, and this is part 2 of the Figuration Shin Musha Gundam review. And in this part I'm going to be doing weapons, accessories, and a few size comparisons. Now first off, for accessories, I mentioned in part 1 that rather than having posable hands, Shin Musha has lots of hands. And the ones that are on here are the ones that come in the box. They're just closed fists. But you also get 2 hands for holding the staff type weapons, namely the spear and the naginata. So yeah, one for right, one for left. You also get 2 hands for holding the katana, again, right and left. You get 2 hands that are kind of miscellaneous. You get an open palm just for the left hand. Unfortunately, you don't get one for the right. And then you get this hand, which, for those of you who have a 1 to 100 scale, or might be 1 to 144 scale as well, I'm not sure, Gundam Astray model kit, you'll probably recognize this hand because it's almost the exact same one. I think it's pretty much, oops, dropped it, pretty much meant for holding the sword while it's connected to the side skirt. Unfortunately, it only fits on the handle of the sword. The hand isn't quite made to fit around the sheath, because I was really hoping it would fit on the sheath so you could have the other, the other sword hand drawing the sword out like so, but unfortunately it doesn't. And then, yep, there are even more hands. You get 3 trigger finger hands, which I found kind of odd. Let's see. You get 2 normal trigger finger hands for right and left, and then you get an extra right trigger finger that has a bent wrist. And I'll just line them up for you. So you can see the hand is the same, but the one on the bottom has a bent wrist, so you can more effectively wield this Tanegashima beam rifle because it has this curved handle like so. In fact, I'll go ahead and put that in. It's kind of hard to get the weapons into the hands because the plastic that this guy is made of is really stiff. It doesn't have much flexibility to it. But anyway, see, when you've got it holding this curved handle here, you see the ball joint for the wrist goes straight out, as it should. And so that does it for the hands. The other accessory that Musha Gundam comes with, or Shin Musha I should say, is this nice white display base. And you could, it's got like a little action base type thingy up here, which is removable. And you could just stand Shin Musha Gundam on it like so. It's got Figuration 0035, Musha Gundam, Musha World written on it, so nice little nameplate. Or you could put this in, and it's got several little joints on it. Actually, just 2 joints on it. And they're ratcheting joints, so they kind of pop into place at specific angles. And then there's another one here at the top. And there's a peg, not a peg, a hole in Shin Musha Gundam's crotch right between the legs. And you'll just fit that in there. And now you have a action-based type effect. And you could put Shin Musha in some kind of cool pose with his weapons and display him like that. So that does it for the accessories. Now let's move on to the weapons. As I mentioned earlier, he's got the Tanegashima beam rifle, which I thought was actually pretty clever design because, you know, they've modeled a beam rifle on a classic weapon, but instead of the little firing pin thingy here, it's actually got a camera, so I thought that was kind of clever. And then, as you saw earlier, he's got two different hands to hold it, and the hands just pop out because they're on ball joints. And there you go, as Shin Musha Gundam falls apart. So yeah, kind of a awkward beam rifle, but I do have to give it points for originality, seeing as how it's got such a classic design. Anyway, let me kind of put Shin Musha back together again. That's another downside of this figure, is that the armor likes to fall off a lot. He's also got a Naginata, which actually has two different handles. You've got this three-segmented handle, and then you can take that off and switch it out with a shorter two-segmented handle. Not really sure why they give this to you, but I guess maybe to make it easier to store in the backpack. I don't know, but you do have that option. Oops, I put it in wrong. Anyway, so yeah, as you saw earlier, he's got two different hands to wield this weapon. Shin Musha also comes with the spear, which uses the same hands to wield this as the Naginata. I forgot to mention, the blades on these aren't silver, they're actually like a pearl white, which I thought was kind of cool. I wasn't expecting that. I thought they'd just be normal silver, but they're not. And, of course, the signature weapon of the Shin Musha Gundam, the Katana, which has a sheath and is removable, and it's the same pearl white finish as the previous two weapons. And if you want to mount this onto the side skirt, see this little gold circle right here? You're going to have to pull that off, and I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. You might have to go at it from the back, because when you get this guy out of the box, he tends to be pretty stiff. There we go. And just pull out that little gold plug and it reveals a hole. There's a peg on the katana here, and it just fits in like so. And I've noticed that a lot of people tend to be really picky about whether they have their sword displayed like this or like that. Really, pretty much the only option you've got is to have it on this side. Unless you put it on the left skirt, or right skirt, for a left-handed samurai. But for Shin Musha Gundam, this is going to be your only option, while hoping that all the armor doesn't fall off. So anyway, that about does it for the weapons. So I'm going to finish up part 2 with a couple of size comparisons. Let me clean this stuff out of the way. And first off, I'll just compare them to a 1:144 scale Gundam model kit, the heavy arms. And as you can see, Shin Musha Gundam is a little bit taller, but that's because the Shin Musha is a slightly larger mobile suit than most. It's not, he's still 1:144 scale, but Musha Gundam's just a large mobile suit overall. And then, of course, this review wouldn't be complete if I didn't compare it to the Master Grade Shin Musha Gundam. And I think dollar for dollar, my final verdict is going to have to be go with the Master Grade version, because in my opinion this is a better representation of the Shin Musha Gundam. It doesn't fall apart like this guy does, and they're about the same price, but this one's a lot bigger, and in my opinion looks nicer. But you get pretty much the same colors, same decals. In fact, it's the exact same decal scheme. The only advantage this guy really has is that he has extra armor parts to make the Musha Gundam. So, actually, before I end this video, I just realized I forgot something. Just like the Master Grade Shin Musha Gundam, you can mount the weapons on the backpack he has these 3 little holders right here. The Naginata goes on this one. The Tanegashima goes on the other side. And for the spear, you're actually going to have to unplug it and slide the shaft of the spear through the center holder and then put the top of the spear back on. So yeah, he can hold them on the backpack just like the Master Grade. So with that, I will end this part of the review and come back for part 3 as the Shin Musha Gundam just kind of falls apart, and I'll build the Musha Gundam.